What up, though, everybody? I'm your host, Keno Green, coming to you from Michiganja. This is my Weed Tube, my Stoner Scope. I'm dual streaming. I'd like to thank replay viewers and live streamers for joining me on this edition of Insomnia meets Bubblegum Kush. I'm going to do some smoking on some herb tonight and kind of wind down my evening. I had a lovely day. Went to work, came home, and just chilled. Pretty good day to me. So, yeah, thank you all for joining me. I hope you got some good herb to smoke with me. Sun is shining. I gotta get a better one though. My neck. Sorry about that. Sleepy wonder. Okay. Yeah. Smells good. I love it when you start shredding it up and it releases those the aromas. And you get that fresh chop. Okay. So what should we smoke? Should we smoke some joints? I think I got like one fat joint in here. Try to hit a couple bowl whips. Yeah, I think I smoked a couple bowls. I think I seen Crazy Dago. He was live right now. And I'm not too competitive, and like when it comes to this YouTube thing, I do this for fun. It's like smoking weed. When I'm talking about it, and like meeting people who like it. So that's my whole deal. I love the herb, and the herb loves me. So we're gonna smoke this bowl. Cheers to you all. Happy Insomnia Smoke Sesh wherever you're at. Oh my gosh, I hate when they play a fucking commercial when I'm about to smirk. So rude. Cheers though, everybody. Girl massage my neck. Hooked up. So, I'm at work. water in here. Well, while I'm at work, right, I get to watch Viceland. So pretty much, when I'm at work, I get to watch Bong Appetit and Fuck That's Delicious. All the shows that they have on there. Excuse me. Now I was thinking about calling in, tap a little number, and just you know what I'm saying, like my name, blah blah blah, where I work, what I'm doing. I got Viceland in the background playing. I don't know, it was just an idea. I might try it. I don't know how my boss will feel about it though. I might ask him first. Hey, you mind if I call Viceland? He probably won't care. Yeah, pretty cool staff, man. It's like she takes shit seriously, because it is serious. Like you have to follow state laws and shit like that. Make sure you're not putting yourself or patients in danger. But outside of all the seriousness, we got a good group of people. So cheers. I'm gonna finish this ball. So cheers. Cheers. Cheers, everyone. There. That's my debowler right here, an old paper clip. Works great too. Cheap, effective, common. You can probably find one around your house somewhere. I'm just gonna try to clean it a little bit. Thank you. What I like. I like to thank all my followers on whatever social media platform you follow me. It's Twitter or MySpace or Facebook or whatever. All right, thank you, man. This is dope. I appreciate the interaction and the support and the retweets and all that. So I'm gonna actually try cleaning this. Get some alcohol. We scrape the wall, see how that. Oh, yeah, I might have to try to clean it because it's just caked on. Smoke the Dunker Poker. Yes, indeed. We're gonna crack this bowl again. But I watched half the episode of Game of Thrones, and there's one part, it was kind of fucked up, because it was like these dudes who was just like riding, and he found shelter in the house, and then they found like a man and a little baby, or a little girl, couldn't have been more than, not even a year, but, they was dead, and it was like, well, from the scene of it, it looks like, the father killed the daughter, and he killed himself, to You know, he's probably dying of starvation or something in order for him to end it. And so his kid wouldn't have to fucking suffer no more. He just killed his kid and killed himself. And I was thinking, like, God damn, that's fucked up. Super fucked up. You know what I'm saying? And I just kind of just fucking up for a little bit because I was just so focused on that because, you know, when you have a kid, man, it's just kind of, I don't know, that parent in you, just like all things parent just comes to the forefront when kids come up. So that's just, it fucked me up, man. But, you know, with outside of that craziness and like I like the wardrobes, the sets, like the scenery and how it's shot and stuff, all that's excellent. I like that. So from like a photographer type of, you know, having that eye, I like it. But as far as the content and what the story plot is, I have no idea what the fuck is going on, who's who, what's what. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna get into it. I just wanted to check it out, see what the fuss was about. It didn't really look anything special to me. It just looked like it was put together. It had a well budget. Shit, you give me $5.8 million, I can make a fucking bomb ass show too. I can't fucking see that. Cheers, anyway. I don't even know the budget of the show. That show was probably like $20 million, $50 million budget show. They probably got professional everything. They probably got professional assistants for fucking assistants. But I did see Trump is in the news again. That dude was just, I don't even know what to call him. He was special. They're not special in a way that you would be proud of. But to my transgender community, you know, I stand with you. Fuck what he's talking about. I appreciate you. And I applaud your right to exist, to be who you want to be, say what you want to say, dress how you want to dress, serve whatever branch of the military that you want to serve. I just think it's like the ultimate baby dick syndrome of dodging the draft and then making, you know, exclusionary and locking out a certain segment of people who actually want to serve. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just the epitome of loser. You know, if I was just to think about like if I had to describe like the weakest person imaginable, like what a weak person would be, like that's the perfect example. It's like I'm trying to think of another way that I can, you know, but the example itself is good enough. I can't, you know, it's like, dude ran from the draft. He literally dodged the draft. He fake fucking being hurt, having a bone spur. I got a bone spur in my fucking arm. You know, I know exactly the fucking inconvenience and pain that's associated with it. So this dude had a bone spur in his calf or foot or something like that, Achilles or something. And so that was the reason why, you know, he didn't have to go serve the country. But then, like, while at college, he was like on a tennis team or like some running team or something like that. So it's like, come on, dude, you just Hey man, facts speak for themselves. I ain't even gotta say nothing. I mean, the greatest thing about him is that all his shit is self-inflicted, self-imposed. You know, when Obama was president, they were throwing rocks at him, hoping that one of them would hit him. You know, just the stupid stuff like Michelle Obama wearing, baring her arms, and like when they did a fist jam on stage, is that some, secret Taliban signal? Like, are you fucking serious? And they reported that as news. Like they were allowed to say that as a news organization, which they can't even technically call themselves. They're an entertainment company. So if you look at it like Fox News, that's just the name of the show. They're a fucking entertainment media corporation. And people just turn into it like, yeah, I've seen it on Fox News. Like, it's real. It's like all that shit is fake. All of it. Every last one of them. They're controlled. Every last one of them are controlled. They're not you know, independently directed. They have fucking boards where they sit around and say, you can run this story, you can't run that story, you can't word it like this, you have to push this now, you have to say this, you have to give, that shit really happens in all of those fucking corporations. You don't fuck with nobody says. Them bitches, they on puppet strings. Like the people, out front might be the face, but behind the scenes, there's motherfuckers pulling strings. It's always been like that. It's always gonna be like that. I don't think I'm naive to it. I'm just like, like if I was gonna put a nation to sleep, I put fluoride in the water, block the third eye, prescribe them fucking medications, turn them into zombies, lacking empathy, the number one factor in being a fucking human being, having the passion to see another person's pain and give a fuck. So if I was gonna put a whole country to sleep, I would take away their ability to think and take away their ability to care. And then I would just program them with the most asinine distractions I could possibly do with random fake news and real shit that's just not really important, but it's put in front of millions as it is important. You know what I'm saying? Like when a celebrity has a baby, cool. They have like congratulations, but that shouldn't be like, breaking news. It shouldn't, be across the timeline. It shouldn't get fucking, it should be like in the corner of the newspaper. Like just a little story like, oh yeah, so they gave birth to their kid. Like paparazzi standing outside hospitals and hiding in bushes and stuff, that's just crazy. Some people live their lives, they're just people. Just people had a baby. Let's let them have their baby. You know what I'm saying? This shit is so crazy. Well, people put a value on those photos, so I see why that job exists. If you're gonna pay me $1 million to get some type of shot that nobody else got, then kind of give a person an incentive to do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't even know where I was going with that. But I was saying, yeah, distractions. Like, I was telling my coworkers, like, if you think about it, the people who plan this out are very smart. They've been doing this for a while, and they plan out like 10, 20 years in advance. Like I told my coworkers, I'm like, people who plan this out were smart. They selected two polar opposites to be presidents back to back that had the country so wrapped up And those polarization opposites, that it'll be such a distracting smoke screen for them to do what the fuck they want to do. Continue to make a whole bunch of money and send the world that, the world constantly at war and fighting each other, and famines and food shortages and, curable diseases not, still killing people. And it's just craziness. And I was just telling them, like, it's very fucking ingenious. You go from the, you know, from the first black president, which is horrible to say because there's more motherfuckers to be qualified in 1860 to be president who was black, and but that's another story. But that's just, the psyche that's been wrapped up in this country that has been programmed and ingrained in people since birth. And I try to tell people, like, we all have prejudices. It's like it's best to check them. Check them in your house before they leave your house. If you notice your kids saying something that they might have heard or even seen you do, like, you gotta nip that shit in the bud at your house. So when they go out into the world, man, I know you can't control your kids' full behavior, but you want to at least give them the tools necessary to be a decent human being. I don't think that's asking a lot of a parent. I think that's like the basic thing you can do. I don't know. I would just hope that, the people, regardless what church you go to, who you pray to, what color you rep, Republican, Democrat, regardless, at the end of the day, a people that is not united can't accomplish shit. Nothing. Like, we, the people of the world, is the greatest force on this planet. And that's the truth. Governments know it. Local police, they know it. We outnumber all of them. They know that. And as long as we are disconnected from each other, we'll be stuck with what we're experiencing now. People sitting around voting on whether you get to live or die. Your life is in their hands, and from how they're voting and how the law is set up is basically allowing you to die. You and your family members to die, your friends, even people that you don't like. They might be in the hospital sitting back. Just because somebody's going to decide whether, pregnancy is a pre-existing condition. It's just, it saddens me. It saddens me in many ways because either the people who are in control are truly caught up in whatever power trip and ego trip and greed, hunger, whatever it is. Like, I don't know if they just lost touch with reality, or it's like, in order to get that position, you have to play that role. You have to play that part. It's either one or the other. Or people just, I don't know. I often think about, like, our government officials. Like, they will probably be best to be drug tested. And a lot of the decisions they make, like, they haven't been made under serious, vendors or something. They haven't been high off their fucking mind and sit around and discuss shit the way the legislation is turning out. To say, cancel Meals on Wheels, and say that people who depend on the meal don't, that's part of our budget, can't support that anymore. Cut it. They just cut it. Like, fuck those people. But I was, probably without hesitation after they did it too. They probably didn't go home and feel bad. And like, goddamn, honey, I fucking hate this job. I had to vote to cut this shit, even though in my gut conscience I didn't want to do it. But everybody else voted it, and I was the only one who would have been against it. So instead of voting against it, I voted with everybody else. And we fucking cut Meals on Wheels. I don't know if they go home and give a fuck. And based off of past voting records of what both Democrats and Republicans have done while sitting in Congress, it's kind of fucking upsetting, regardless, which perspective you look at it. Whoever's been in control has been dropping the ball. Or either they're made to drop the ball on purpose. But then I hear, things come out of these people's own mouths, and I just think, like, man, whatever this haze is that's over this country is just like insanity. It's like truly insane. These people view things so the opposite. Like, if you look at all the things that are legal, take too much of it, you'll die. Cannabis being illegal, take too much of it, you'll probably go to sleep or raid your fridge or have an anxiety attack. Those are probably the top 3 things, for being honest. But that's illegal. Like, that should be reversed. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It should be illegal to hold a position of office if your approval rating isn't even above 50%. If 50% of the country say, you fucking suck. Last I checked when I was in school, if I had 50% on anything, that's a failing grade. You got half of what you're supposed to know wrong. You're only doing half right. If you can't even be 50%, have 50% support, you should, okay. Well, apparently it's time to substitute. We should have whole special elections, like these terms that they're guaranteed. That's bullshit. Like, you should, like, any job, even if you have tenure, like, if you're a teacher and you go to work and you just don't give what you go to work and you play fucking movies all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you should be fired. Fuck that tenure shit. Like, it's like, what are these protections? Like, I just don't understand it. Like, being elected to government, that should be a noble profession. It's just one of high honor and esteem. You actually want the best interest for your citizenship, and you want to actually do something about it. You want to take care of the homeless. You want to feed the hungry. You want to heal the sick. That should be the goal of every government. I don't understand how this is not the goal around the world. Well, I mean, I say that out of not ignorance, but out of a lavish luxury of American spirit. Let me say that. Because that's all I've been experiencing for so long. I don't even, how there are countries that take care of their citizens. Like, they pay for their kids to go to college. They pay you to start a business. Like, there's places that really just, their life expectancy is so high because of the type of life that they live. Like, they get guaranteed paid leave, like 2 weeks guaranteed paid leave. The government made it a law that you have to take 2 weeks paid vacation. It's like, get the fuck out of here. You worked for a whole year, take these 2 weeks off, And here's money to continue to sustain your livelihood while you're not here at work. That's a law. Our country's like, no, that slows down productivity. We need you here at the office. You can either take your leave or you can get it cashed out. Some jobs are actually uh, pay time off to pay you for your time, that you don't take, which looks good, but then, overall your health, that probably gets affected. You're probably gonna drain your battery. You gotta recharge. And like women, I think the study was like average is women take about they're back at work after 2 weeks giving birth. And I know from just having two young children that 2 weeks that's definitely not enough, not for a newborn. Something that just came into this world 2 weeks is definitely not enough to go back to work. That's just not good. It's not good on the mother, it's not good on the baby, not good on the family, it's not good on the milk production, nothing. It's just not overall good for anybody. So and it just doesn't seem like anybody, like the overall majority of the government, it just doesn't seem like they're fighting for us. Every now and then I hear a clip of somebody who says something passionately on the House committee floor or in a chamber somewhere. And I'm like, man, that guy seems like he's like thinking about this logically. He's approaching it with a logical mind, and he's not letting party lines or faith or anything dictate his logic in his response to what he was talking about. I'm like, damn. So if Russia did hack our election and the whole Trump campaign and his whole presidency and his whole cabinet, that should be forfeited if that really did happen, which I believe it did. If his cabinet was to go, his whole administration should leave. But like people like that guy that spoke up with logic and with a sound mind towards a topic like healthcare or fucking, cannabis, I think, yeah, that guy needs to be in government. Somebody like that needs to be there. So I don't know. I guess it's hard for me to trust government just because I know what they do. I know they'll go on TV and say the exact opposite of what's happening just because they don't want the citizens to erupt in fear or panic. And it's just like, that's just it. That's just how shit is. That's how shit works. But nonetheless, I just hope that we get people in power who don't sell out, man. We actually give a fuck. And I hope that our country starts to give a fuck, man. Like, ever since I've been here, there's just been a segment of this population determined to be like everything that's wrong with existence. And I don't know why it's so strong here. I don't know what force is behind it, but it's so strong on this land. And I don't know why. But hopefully, seasons change. I just hope shit gets better before it gets any worse. Because, just being a parent, I just want better for my kids and for our peers to grow up in. I just want the best world possible. And I think decriminalizing cannabis, legalizing hemp, that would be a great start. Making the law mandatory for each local government to provide solar or wind to each housing resident. I think that should be a law. Stuff like that. Laws that actually make fucking sense. You know, like if you have 50% disapproval rating, you lose your job in the fucking government. I think that's fucking. I talk about this so much. It's like there's no way that they cheated. There's no way that they won the House, the Congress, the Republican, the Senate, and if anybody with 11% approval rating cannot have a 90% election record. That's just, it's mathematically impossible. You know, in order to be reelected 91% of the time, you would only have to have, 11% dissatisfactory rate. But it's the complete opposite. They got 11% approval, but a 91% election rate. Now you tell these motherfuckers didn't hack the election way before fucking Donald Trump and the Russians, way before George Bush Jr. You telling me they didn't have the technology back then to pick who they wanted to fucking pick to be president? Okay. Cheers to you all. Yeah, Bubblegum Kush. We've been smoking. Should we get out of here and save the dab for the morning? I don't think we'll do that. We'll save the dab for the morning. So I thank you all for joining me on this edition of Burning Bush, Insomnia, Bubblegum Kush. Peace, prosperity, and blessings to you and yours. I hope that somewhere along this video you found inspiration, a laugh, a piece of truth, a challenge, something to make you a better person. And yeah. So share this video if you agree with that. Give it a thumbs up. Comment down below, let me know what you're smoking on, where you're smoking on it at. And until next time, peace out, y'all. Stay smoking.